But now let's move on to, actually, I've not asked the question. At this time, have you held a camera?
No, I haven't.
Hold on. Moots.
All through Campo.
In fact, I didn't even ask. In primary, high school, did you hold a camera?
No, I never even thought about photography as a thing. Like, who would think about photography?
You know, we've been talking for like close to an hour and a half, but we have not touched photography.
Cameras are not even, like, who?
Do you understand now me why I'm so confused? Because this is who I knew. So what do you mean you're a photographer? With your hair all over the place.
Yeah, I know, by the way. In fact, probably in my life, photography might have been the only thing that just landed on me. Like everything else in my life, I feel like I've planned and gone towards it.
Yes.
Except photography.
Okay, so let's close this music chapter and enter the next chapter, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I should say, the one thing that has never left me, enter music, exit music, is art. It just changes the form. Like I've already told you how in Primo I used to just draw and all that and have the drawings checked. In high school I studied fine art and I was really good at it. In university I'm studying architecture, but at the same time architecture is a structured course. For my hobbies on the side, even as I was doing music, I still used to do a lot of art. In fact, most of the posters for JQuat events, I'm the one who used to make.
Because this was before. Cover?
Yes, I'm the one who did the album cover. Yes, and that album cover is a mix of actual drawing that scanned, and then into the computer added extra things, because that was the beginning of the computer age for me.
Yes.
So you can imagine by first year, second year, third year of university, computers. We only touched computers in the computer lab. So all I was doing was physically drawing. So we'd make posters like with stickers, these fluorescent stickers that are luminous green, yellow. So for me, that's what I do. So with different clubs, when they want to make announcements, they'd ask me. What? So most of the not CU, but our campus fellowship for guys from Nairobi, that's the one I used to like, because I was like, it's the place where we can listen to Kirk Franklin, we can listen to gospel gangsters and not be weird.
Yeah.
In the CU, it was for guys who wore suits. We were like, maybe not.
Yeah.
So I'd make most of the posters for that. So I was still doing different art. Like that was a new form of art.
Yes.
That I kind of went with and it worked. Then computers check in. I think I bought my first computer, a laptop, when I was in 4th year. But the first computer in our room was when we were in 3rd year.
Now that's the one Alex was using to produce beats.
No, Alex had it on. Alex was not our roommate.
Oh yes.
The first computer was by Kevo. He was the one who owned the first. It was a massive 40 gigabyte
40
storage.
Gigabyte then.
Storage. You know how small that was?
Then.
Okay, then it was serious.
Yeah.
Like now, computers come with TBs.
Even phones have 40 GB.
Yeah, even phones have more than 40. You guys were like, hey, this computer is 40 gig. RAM to 56 MB.
That can do nothing.
Like people now will never understand what that means. But 256 MB RAM, we're like, you don't even need to expand it. So I buy my first laptop when I'm in 4th year, and so that's when I start
Can I ask, is this your folks who buy for you, or have you been buying from saving?
No, this one now, I didn't probably talk about that. So the thing is, all through Campo, I've always had side hustles, but they're architectural side hustles. Let me just go back quick to that.
In fact,
one
what
segment.
do you mean? Of course.
In first year, in architecture, well, in Campo, people have compulsory internships. In architecture, first year was not a compulsory internship, but second year is compulsory. But in first year, that holiday, that 4 months out, I'm like, I'll do an internship. So I applied for one, I got it. It wasn't, is it a paying one? Oh yeah, I think so. I think they paid me 5K maybe a month. I did that internship. While I was in that internship, I made some models. Now these are like 3D models that you make physically with paper to represent a design. so that someone can see how it look like by turning it around. Because at that time, doing computer generated ones was also hard. But also, even when you have computer ones,
you still
a physical one
it's
really
3D.
Even now people still do that. So I did one for them, and they were like, they loved it. So they had another job on the side where they paid me to do a model. And I remember I said, 14K, the most money I'd seen in my life. And I thought that was enough. And I say, Kwanza, because I'm not sure about these models, I'll ask Alex to help me. That holiday of first year, I stayed with Alex in his house, in his brother's house in Ngara. So we start making that model. Kwanza, because of 14K, they give me a down payment of 7K. I go to Gikosh, I buy some jeans. I kula like half that money. Alex sushi at me. Alex was like, you mad? You kula. So now we have 3.5 to buy materials for the model, and we're only getting the rest after we finish. I thought the model would be like 2 weeks and we are done. That thing, I mean a week and we're done. It took like 3 weeks. Those 3 weeks, we bought materials. There's no money left. We have no fare. Thankfully, the offices are in Tao. We were walking home to Ngara. Unless it's at night where you're like that 10 bob. The fare was 10 bob on a Kenya bus. In fact, one day, I even engaged a Kenya bus and I shook out the back doors. You remember they had 2 doors?
Before the
when it was Ngara, you know Ngara is just there. It's just the roundabout and you're there. By the time the guy was getting to the half, I'd already shook out the backs out. So I do that when it's late and I don't want to walk. But most of the days, that I've never been broke like in that period, that first year holiday. But I can't complain because I'd bought jeans, and then it was stupid. But I was broke. There's a day Kwanza we went to that house, and then Alex's brother is a bachelor. There's no food in the house. We're there, we don't have money for food. We look, the only thing that is there is rice and onions. Do you know, by the way, we could add rice and onions? And because at that time I didn't even know how to fry the rice. At least it would have been even better. I fried onions on the side and rice, boiled it. Then mixed it with kulad. We're like, okay. We'd go to work over there. Thankfully, there was coffee in the office. So we're always drinking that coffee. Then we go downstairs because this tower, it was in corner house. We go downstairs, we buy some other flat cakes. 2 of them, each is 5 bob. 2, you're good. Mpaka asubuhi. 10 bob dinner. Morning, same thing. Downstairs,
now
flat
you
cakes.
and Alex.
Me and Alex. Alex Kwanza is mad because me, I'm the one who was gotten us into this predicament.
Every time he looks at your jeans, he's like, you better wear them every day.
So by the time...
So you finished the model 3 weeks
So
later?
finished the model.
They
loved it. Paid the rest. We were balling out of control, but we didn't waste money. This time we're like, okay. But then all through Campo, that's what I do. Even when I was in school, architect school, because they know there's a guy in JKUAT. Hey, it's good with these models. So even the guys I would work with, that same company, I went back for them severally, and they would also ask me to do models because I was affordable for them. I'm a student. The models were always super. So I actually paid most of my university through those side hustles.
What do you mean? You paid your own university?
Yeah, because at the same time, my mom was building a house and she was a single mom. So I was like, it's just, we're just going to Sumbuana. So most of the time I paid. Sometimes it was hard. Like sometimes that money was checking in maybe the day we are starting exams. And in JKUAT, you don't do exams without paying fees.
I get it.
So I'd be like, first paper I sneak in, I do it. By second paper, the money is checked in, I pay, I'm good.
So that's now what you used to buy your laptop?
So that's what I used. So my uncle went to the States. I saw a laptop online. By that time, at least, the internet is part of life. I see this HP 17-inch is like 65K. Tell him that's the one. I buy the laptop, my first computer. First thing I install on it, CorelDRAW. Then my life with computer graphics begins. That's my next art form.
Whoa.
Now I start doing the same graphics I was doing, but I start doing them now on computer.
Yes, I get.
So I learn how to do that. I enjoy it. Now most of the things that we're doing are also with that computer on Corel.
Can I ask, This is like a personal question.
Yeah.
That I have to ask it. Are you the one then who taught Bupe how to do?
No, in fact, now, interestingly, Bupe, even through Campo, we're always close. He'd come to visit us in JKUAT, he even sleeps. He has some 501 stuff. He was also doing his own stuff.
Yes, music, yeah.
Yeah, and he was also doing graphics.
He was
crazy.
Extremely crazy with graphics.
And I remember we were going through kind of parallel lives.
So it's like you would share then ideas.
Yeah.
You would bounce.
So we'd always, like, he sees an interesting website, he tell me, hey, my guy, there's this website. And then because in JKUAT we had cheap internet, that was in JKUAT inbuilt internet. So he'd come, he browses, whatever. So we check online, he sees, hey, he shows me this. In fact, this is a good segue into the next, because Bupe is the one who introduced me to Jim Chuchu's work. He showed me Jim Chuchu's website. I was like, what madness is this? And Jim Chuchu, that website and the work of Jim Chuchu is what inspired me to be a photographer.
What? Okay. That's a good place to hold it.
This is a good place to go pee.
Yes. That is insane.
It's so crazy.